Hey everyone, Zari here. So today I've got a story that began about 2 to 3 weeks ago when Dioxide messaged me asking me to look into the advanced rapid fire bug that he heard wasn't working. And you're going to want to know about this bug because it's going to save you a few skill points. And for those who aren't familiar with it, advanced rapid fire it's an upgrade for rapid fire that makes you deal 30% increased critical strike damage for 5 seconds after you evade. What does this do? Basically, the idea is you evade, it gives you a buff, and now your crit should do 30% more damage. So I went to the testing dummy, hit it a few times without advanced rapid fire on and with advanced rapid fire on, and I could see that it was clearly doing more damage, but it also didn't really seem like it was doing 30% more damage. So what I did is I reached out to Ava, who is someone in the Rogue Discord that does a lot of testing, really awesome, helpful, and I asked him if he tried testing out this season to see if it actually gives 30%. And he thought it should be 30% based on testing other things that are similar to it. And then about 2 weeks later, after that, he said that, yeah, it does actually look like a multiplier still. And I was kind of in disbelief here because it didn't really seem to match what I had been testing. And he sent me his data, so rapid fire without it and with the advanced rapid fire buff, and the relative gain was around 30%. So clearly it seemed like it was working based on his data. And this got me thinking that maybe there's something else. Like maybe I was using some sort of a passive or some sort of multiplier that he wasn't using, and that was giving us different results. So I wonder if there's something that is interacting with that that's making it less than 30% at the end of the day for me. Like maybe there's some other multiplier or something. Because with my data, no advanced rapid fire and advanced rapid fire, I was getting a percent difference around 18%, or pretty close to around 15%. And I also tested this a few other times and got consistently around 15% or so. And this kind of stumped him as well as me, so that there's something strange going on here. And I looked at my various passives, and one thing that kind of jumped out at me is maybe something's going on with weapon mastery. Because weapon mastery, when you're using crossbows in particular, gives you a similar buff, 15% increased critical strike damage multiplier, just like the advanced rapid fire buff. So I thought maybe there's something going on, like maybe it's being additive with weapon mastery, but that didn't quite make up for that difference. There shouldn't be that big of a difference. It'd only be like a 26% increase instead of the like 15 that I was getting or 30 that he was getting. So the math wasn't really mathing. And then we can see that Ava messaged me later that morning at about 2:09 a.m. I'm very hard at work still testing things. And he tested it with a bunch of other multipliers and he still got about 25% increase. And he sent me his data, and I also noticed that he did a test with just using weapon mastery, and it came out a bit less than around the 30 some percent that he was getting before. So maybe it had something to do with that again. Wasn't quite sure. And then we kind of tested it for a few more hours. And then he messaged me this and he said, LOL, I love it. I figured it out and I am a dingus. And he said, see if you can spot the issue. Sent me this. You could pause it, see if you could spot the issue. I failed at spotting the issue. I thought it was like a shadow clone or something. Um, but the issue was that notice he's using a bow. Well, why is that a problem? Well, again, weapon mastery. Bows increase damage to vulnerable enemies, while crossbows increase it to the critical strike damage. So this led him to then come out with the following conclusion, put this together very quickly after that, and he said that for some reason, Weapon Mastery Crossbow and Advanced Rapid Fire is treated as not just a similar buff, but the same buff. So whatever has the highest percent wins. So because Advanced Rapid Fire is 30% and my Weapon Mastery is 24%, really meant 25%. The actual difference is the difference of those two, so 6%, because they are for some reason the same buff, it just gets overwritten. And he came to this conclusion based on the data that he collected, as well as the data that me, as well as Bowa, had been collecting, another rogue in the Discord who was testing this out because Bowa, he had 6 weapon mastery, which is 30% crit multiplier, and he got a 0% damage increase with advanced rapid fire. And I had 3% weapon mastery, which is 15% crit multiplier, and got a 15% damage increase with advanced rapid fire. And Ava, who had 0 weapon mastery because he was using a bow, which he just realized that, was getting a 0% crit multiplier and therefore got 30% damage increase with advanced rapid fire. So depending on how much weapon mastery, we were getting different increases because of the way that weapon mastery and advanced rapid fire seem to be interacting incorrectly though. So Ava did some testing as well as I did some testing to independently confirm that this was what was actually happening. And here is my summary of my data after doing lots of data collection. And what we have here is a table where up here it tells me how much weapon mastery I had. So 0, 3, and 6 weapon mastery. And then without advanced rapid fire and with advanced rapid fire. So for example, if I had 0 weapon mastery and without the advanced rapid fire, then on average my damage was 68,000 damage. And then with the advanced rapid fire buff and 0 weapon mastery, had about 89,000 average damage for about a 31% increase. And we'd expect this to be about 30% because the advanced rapid fire get 30% and 0%. And then without advanced rapid fire and 3 weapon mastery, we got 80,000 and 3 weapon mastery, and with the advanced rapid fire buff, got 94,000, which was about a 17% increase between each other. So the idea here being that we're actually only getting the 30% advanced rapid fire buff, not the 15%. The 30% is overriding the 15%. So we're just getting an additional around 15% increase or so. And then with 6 weapon mastery without it, we're getting 88,000, and 6 weapon mastery with it, we're getting 90,000. So here we can see that we got almost no increase because they are the same. Or here's another table here that maybe shows us a little bit more clearly if that was confusing, which is that what I did here is I just showed it in terms of percentages, where 100% is 68,000, and then 80,000 would be 80,000 divided by 68,000, which gives me 118%. So with 15% and 0%, we basically get 15% increase. With a 30% and 0%, we got a 30% increase. With a 30% and a 30%, we get about a 33% increase, or basically 30% increase. So the idea, again, is that the advanced rapid fire and the weapon mastery override each other instead of both working. So you're supposed to get the 30% crit multiplier and then times another 30% crit multiplier. But instead, just one of them works, whichever one is higher, and the other one won't work. And this is due to them being the same buff. Both are crit percent multipliers. So what do we do as a result of this? Well, if you're using advanced rapid fire with a crossbow, weapon mastery does nothing, so do not use it. So we can see again up here on our table, if you're using advanced rapid fire, doesn't matter what your weapon mastery is, you get roughly the same damage, around 90,000 here-ish. Okay. So we can basically save ourselves those 3 points, as well as don't use it on your AMI, use something else. And one question that I still have is, are there other multipliers that are the same that are also overriding each other? And this could be in the rogue class, this could be on other classes. It honestly wouldn't surprise me. So something for you guys to think about and maybe look into, and something that I'm sure I'll probably end up looking into at some point as well. So hope you guys found that interesting and useful. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Thanks.